Welcome, welcome, welcome to my workshop for the winter version of National Scrapbook Day for South Africa. Um, I am going to build a junk journal with you. I am not going to go through every single step because some of these steps will take you days to complete, and we do not have that much time if I do it real time. So, some of the things I'm going to show you, then I'm preparing it, then I'm showing you, then I'm preparing it, and then we will have a nicely built book at the end. So where my these pages that I'm showing you now is where my inspiration came from. So this is a Tim Holtz product. It is the ideology range, backdrops volume 3, and I just selected some of the pages that I thought I'd like in the pack. There's a lot of things in the pack, so you can create a couple of nice projects with these. I then sent a photo of those pages and some other things in my stash to my good friend Secretaire, and we are collaborating in this workshop. So she sent me some fabulousness from her shop that would fit the theme and feel of what I gave her or the instruction that I gave her. I also went onto her website and I purchased some things myself that I thought would work, and then she added some more stuff. And if you follow me, you would have seen that I posted the unboxing of the goodie bag that I got and the excitement. Oh my word! Some of these pages that I am using in the project are very, very old. They are delicate, so I had to work very softly with some of these pages, and the color scheme is obviously not my personal preference, but because of the papers I had to get out of my comfort zone and do something a little bit different. Okay, so on to the first step. So the first step is to decide what pages and papers you're going to use. After you have gathered all your materials, you will then tear them or cut them in the size that you would prefer your book to be. So I had to work on that cover page that you see lying underneath all the pages, and that determined the size that I cut my papers. Some of the pages are from very large books, but I did not want to um, tear them or not use them. So you will see some of it is folded into squares so that they or triangles so that there is tuck spots or pockets later on where you can insert some ephemera. And then I decorated each and every page so that there's sort of a cohesiveness between all of the pages. What I did was the first step I did was I used some texture paste that I colored blue through a damask stencil. You will see one of the pages also has a sort of a damask pattern on it, and that gave me the inspiration to use that stencil. And then after I've dried everything, so the stencil I did not do on all the pages, only here and there. And then after that step, I decided on which colors distress oxide inks I'm going to use on the pages so that I can sort of make them, because they all have different writings and things on them, to make them look sort of the same. I used only two colors. I used the Distress Oxide Spray Antique Linen. Most of you will know that is my absolute favorite. I use bottles of those. And then the Blueprint Sketch, which is a blue color or the blue color. And then one of the techniques I did was I have a glass mat, the white glass mat that you see in the picture, and then I would spray the blue print, oxide spray onto the glass mat. I will then in that picture you will see a coffee cup with very strong coffee in it, and a brush, and then I would drop some coffee splatters into the blue oxide, spritz it with water, and then drag the pages also through the ink on my glass mat. And then some pages only have these coffee stains on it and spritzes of the oxide inks. Once you are happy with what your pages look like, we can start assembling our book. Okay, so I made 7 signatures with 7 folded pages, and this is the cover. I have a little problem with this. You will see in just now. When I take all my signatures and I put it inside my cover, look what happens. So I obviously have too many pages, too many signatures, and my cover is too small. So to fix this issue I have, I first need to find out how big the book will be once it's stitched, so that I can determine how big I need to make the spine of my book, because I do want to use that cover, and because it's a fabulous color and it fits my theme. So once I started to plan how I'm gonna stitch all the signatures together, I thought, but there's something missing. So I've put on my sewing machine, and you will see I've sewed all the pages, or almost all the pages, and some of the pages where I have folded pockets and tuck spots, I have sewed it so that it is closed now and a tuck spot. So I haven't used any glue yet, except for gluing that back fabric to a piece of thin chipboard that I will stitch through to make my book block. So here I'm just showing you I have to make my spine about 11 centimeters, because and the reason for that is because um, I want some room still, because ephemera and other things needs to be added to this book, and I need a lot of space. To help me plan how far to stitch the signatures from each other to that fabric and a thin chipboard, I used graph paper that you will see to the left. And that I made a little template and made the holes through all of the things. So through the fabric and the chipboard, the signatures, and then I started stitching. So here is my template, and that's how I stitched together. I did not do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch because of the delicate papers I'm using. So I found this book cover in my stash, which is the perfect color to go with the theme and the feel that I want to have for my junk journal. But as you know, the spine is much too small, so we need to make it bigger so that all our pages can fit nicely. So I'm just cutting off the back, and then I'm going to sand each book page or book cover page that way I've cut, so that it's nice and even and straight, as a straight edge. I started with the normal nail buffer, but that was not coarse enough, so I switched to another sanding block with a very coarse grit, so that I can get everything nicely sanded and straight for the next step. So when I started to stitch, or when I stitched the book block together, I made a mistake with the last 3 signatures. I had one that I've placed in my bookbinding tool where you that thing that helps you make the holes in the signatures. I left one of the signatures in there, and the other two were lying on the table. So I'm counting, and I thought, oh my goodness, there's three rows left, and I only have two signatures. How did I count? So I tore off the extra page, and then when I started to sew and wanted to add some more holes to one of the signatures, I saw that there was actually another one inside that bookbinding tool thingy. So now I'm just sticking back the piece that I've torn off and to fix it. Otherwise, the book's going to be like askew, and it's not going. Nothing is going to work out nicely. So once this is done, I will glue the book covers to the fabric that the book block is stitched to, and then I will have a fabulous front cover and back cover that I'm not really going to decorate, but you will see as we go along. And after the glue has dried, voila, we have a book with a bigger spine, and all of my signatures and pages are fitting. I'm really chuffed. Now comes the most fabulous part of all, the decorating. This piece of fabric was in my Secretaire box that I received from my friend, and I'm going to use it to hide the stitching and that chipboard piece that I stitched the book block to. And all of it, I'm not going to really cut the materials, I'm tearing. So I like the rough edges and the all the threads hanging out from. You will also see all my threads from the sewing is also sticking out all over the book, and I think it looks very cool. So now I'm just going to add glue to the book block, and then add the fabric to hide all these stitches and the chipboard. One of the things I realized when I started decorating is some of the stuff that I've taken from my stash and some of the stuff that Secretaire has sent me are already the perfect sizes. So, can I just tell you, this collaboration and this book was meant to be. Okay, so I'm gonna dry the glue again and then start to decorate the back of the book. That's gonna be the only part that has nice decoration on it. I'm gonna leave the front and back cover as is. I'm not gonna do any altering there. And now I'm just gonna start taking pieces from the stash that I've put together and see what fits. So I really wanted to use this piece of leather, but you will see I'm going to decide against it. It looked fabulous when I put it onto the spine, but the thing is, it's very thick. It's very hard to cut, and every time I put it on, it did not do anything for me. So this is a piece of lace from my stash, and I just added it to see whether I can do something extra with the leather, because now I'm cutting and I'm cutting and I'm cutting and it's keep getting smaller, and no, I'm not getting any happiness there. So eventually, I've got another piece of leather, a little darker one, and no, no happiness. But there was also in my stash and in the photo that I sent Secretary, that's why she sent me what she sent me, this piece of a jean. This is one of the jeans that I've worn to pieces. So I thought I could repurpose it with this project, and I cut off the part where you put your belt through so that your pants stays up. And this will now be the closure of my book. But there's a lot of things that happens, and you will see I'm taking putting stuff on, taking it off, and then eventually just deciding to use the piece of the jean first, and then I would add some other things later on. So here I'm just cutting the belt thingy a little bit shorter so that I can do the closure. And then in the stash I got from Secretaire these magnet things that I'm gonna put on there, and that will be my closure. To hide the back magnet, I'm just gonna add one of the flowers that was in my um, goodie box, just so that it looks finished. And now my book has a closure. Yay! In the goodie box, there was also this butterfly that I've decided to put on to the spine to give it more interest. But later on, I take it off and then I put it back. And then eventually it is now stuck there. So it is part of the spine. And I'm really happy with how the book is progressing at this stage. So as I'm fiddling with the book, I can see here where I've glued the front cover to that fabric, that you can see where it has been cut. So the lace is not fully closing that part of the book. So I just got some more stuff from the goodie box, and I'm just going to add this string to hide where the book covers has been cut from each other. So I know what you're thinking now. Really, Crystal? Do I have to build a book like this in the time provided? So no, you don't have to build this huge book. Please blame Secretaire. The intention was not a big book like this. But let me show you what it looks like now that it's done and decorated. I will have a fabulous flip through of this book on the YouTube channel. It's not going to be part of this video because there is still a class that you need to do, and there's still stuff that you need to make in order to be eligible to win the prize that I am sponsoring. So you do not have to build this whole book. Okay, so let me tell you, if you work like 24/7 for 4 days, you will be able to make this book. We don't have that time. Maybe you do, so you are welcome to do it. But in order for you to win the prizes, I just need you to make 3 of these tags. They are a little bit mixed media. I'm going to show you how I've done or my process of creating them, and then you can go through your stash and see if you have something similar or anything that you wish to make. And then if you can make or if you create 3 tags and you post it to my album, I will put your name in a lucky draw for the prize that I am sponsoring. So this is just a mini flip through of what the book looks like now. After everything is assembled and I've decorated it, I've added some ephemera, bling, and everything that I wanted or I had in my goodie bag. Um, so there will be a full flip through on my YouTube channel of this book. If you want to also make something similar, you do not have to do this obviously to win or to be eligible as case for the prize. Only those 3 tags. Okay, so run to your stash and get the following supplies. So obviously you will need a tag of some sorts, or you can cut one from scrapbook paper. You will need some gesso, some oxide sprays, fabrics, trinkets, stickers. You can use serviettes, glues, laces, trims, whatever you think you will want to create your tag with. I guess your 3 tags with. So let's get crafty. First, I need to prepare these tags. I'm cutting them apart and then I'm deciding which ones I want to use, because you will see there are 2 different yellows, but I did use both of these in my stash, or excuse in the book. And then I thought maybe I should show you that the way I colored the pages in the book. So here is that blue sketch print oxide spray, and I'm just gonna mist some on to my glass mat. I almost forgot the most important ingredient: very, very strong coffee. I then spritz the oxides with some water, and then I'm dripping this strong coffee into my mixture and lifting it. Then you will see it will create some browns and blues, and I'm splattering it all over the place. Please just be mindful. This is a very messy process. You will also see later on in the video my hands gets really blue from all the inks, but I just love it. I will color the paper or the tag on both sides, because it's not going to be glued into the book on a page. You will be able to take it out. So I wanted both sides to have some texture and some inking on it. This process might seem a little bit lengthy, because every time that I've dipped my paper into um, any of the inks or the coffee, or you will see later on, I'm also going to use scorched timber, and I'm going to drag the sides of the tag through the scorched timber to make a nice border. Um, I dry the tag before I do the next layer of inking. So you don't need to just do it once. So you can ink it, ink it, dry it, and then you get that nice effect of um, ink layering. So the next tag I'm going to do a little bit different. I am first applying a coat, actually 3 coats of gesso. And on the gesso, the inks will then obviously have a different effect, and you can learn so much by trying all these different mediums and playing with them together to find your favorite technique to color your crafts with. So it doesn't, you don't need to just use it for junk journaling. You can add it to your scrapbooking pages, to your Bible journal pages, um, whatever is your favorite thing to do. Next, I'm going to use some scorched timber on this small little craft mat of mine. I'm going to add the ink pad this time, and then spritz that with water. I'm also dragging my finger through it so that it makes bigger puddles for me to to drag the tags through. So I like doing this. Sometimes it gives such a good effect when you color the sides of the tags. I know the ones that's previously put into the book, I also did that with the blue. So I added some blue to the little craft mat, and then first down the scorched timber, and then added some blue as well to the sides to just give a nice, interesting effect. And sometimes when you use like rusty hinge and those types of colors, it looks like your tag is rusted, which is also a very cool idea. Once my tag's edges are dry, I am going to dip it also into the scorched timber to give this splatter effect. And then after each dip session, I'm going to dry the tag thoroughly to make sure that all the colors are nicely dry. I will also spray some of the inks directly on the tag to create even finer details. For the final tag, I'm using gesso again to prepare the cardstock. Then I'm going to add some of the inks to those brown craft mats. The one is going to have blue on it, and the other one is going to have the scorched timber on it. And then I'm just going to press the cardstock into the two different inks to create nice splatter effects on my tag. My backgrounds is all done now, and I can start decorating them with all the leftover goodies that's left in the box. So this is that jean that I wore to bits. So I'm gonna make another pocket with this part that has some stitching on it. So that's gonna be a pocket for one of the tags, and then I'm gonna just use some of the scraps to create an decor for the pieces. I'm gonna decide on some of the leftover um, papers that I got in my box, and then, ladies, while I was creating this book, I thought, because all the junk journalists normally give a name to their book. So I did not don't want to use the name on the cover of my book, the old books. That was a storybook of long time ago. So, and while I was playing with this, because I'm using all these washi tape stickers of men with their clothing from long time ago, I thought, oh yes, and obviously also because I'm using an atlas book page, or the pages with maps, with these vintage men on most of the pages and on the on the tags. They are washi tape stickers. I thought these people might have been people that was driven by a taxi driver. So I'm going to call my book The Taxi Driver. The reason for that is I recently did some traveling and I fell in love with it again. So I am going to dream in this book about all the fabulous places I still want to go to and go see and go explore. And then also my big dreams. I think that's why I made the book so big, because my dreams are so big. There was also some people that asked whether we're going to do some kits. We will, if you ask for it. Just be mindful that no one will receive exactly the same thing, because we are doing vintage and different styles and stuff. So you might have a theme in mind, and we can maybe put something together for you, but all of the kits will only go out at one stage. So I was thinking, and I discussed it with my friend Secretaire, that we will give you ladies up until the end of September to respond whether you'd like a kit to do something similar. Then we will make a kit up, and we will once you've contacted us, we will tell you exactly what we've done, and then it will only be shipped after the end of September, because you don't need to do um, the book for the prize I'm giving away. You only need these 3 tags. I hope you enjoyed my process and my frittling with all these fabulousness that I received from Secretaire and in my stash. I love junk journaling because there's no rules. You can do what you want and you can mess as much as you want. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I hope you enjoyed this workshop, and I hope we can meet soon. Come have a cup of tea. We can chat and you can browse through The Taxi Driver. Have an awesome week, and remember to go to also watch all the classes. There is some fabulous ladies joining this winter version of the NSD. And then I also would like to just say thank you to Michelle van Wyk for making this possible, for allowing us to do this. You are fab, girl. You are very fab. We need this so much, especially in winter time, and not getting rusted because we are all underneath blankets because of the cold. We know this is a lot of work and a lot of teeth grinding with all the different people you have to work with. So much thanks for allowing us to do this. and for making this possible. We love you, and I hope you girls enjoy a whole month of crafting. My tags are all done. That is left now is to add it to my book in some special places. I will swap the one that has my book's name on it, the taxi driver, with one of the tags that is in the front of the book, and then add the others as well. Thank you for joining my workshop. Please stay warm. Enjoy all the classes that the fabulous ladies have created for you. And then I hope to meet you soon. We'll chat again. Love you. Bye.